Hello everybody, how's it going? Carl Screezilla here, and I hope you're all well. And welcome to the ARCA Series here in the ANZCAR
Okay, Carl,
Championship.
10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
League. Sorry, words will get to me. The ARCA Development Series here, basically the legacy version of the old NASCAR. The legacy Gen 6 version of the NASCAR Cup cars with a bit less horsepower.
That lap time was 31.3.
Very tricky to drive, especially here at Milwaukee on the Milwaukee Mile. Milwaukee. These cars have a lot of horsepower, not a lot of downforce. They're very skittish. Closest thing I can describe them as is the old 87 cars, which is not a bad thing because I adore the 87 cars. But they are very tricky to drive. A really good way of coming in to learn though, if you are looking to experience oval racing and get some idea of how things work, these can be a fantastic opportunity to get a bit of skill under your belt, a little bit of experience, things like that, because yeah, they are so very different to drive than some of the other cars in the series. But they're not easy to handle.
That's your fastest lap today. You're now 0.6 off the pace.
And the other thing as well, this is development series, so it's basically here for people to learn. So you don't get huge figures, you don't get huge amounts of drivers often. You will for some events, of course, but majority of the time, smaller amounts of drivers, and you'll get drivers that are willing to help each other as well. So you know, a lot of drivers that will chip in and help you out if you need a hand, if you need to learn something. Most of us are relatively new to the series.
You're now 1.4 off the pace. That lap time was 31.9.
Huge amount of experience, so it's a really good way of learning. Anyway, we'll jump to qualifying and the race. Okay, so practice over and done with. We ended up in 4th place at the end of that session. I don't think we're going to be up there for the race or qualifying, in all honesty. I don't have the overall pace, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll head into qualifying and, well, see what we can do, really. That's the main thing. The big thing about this track is it's going to be hard on tyres. The other thing as well is it's very hot out there on the track. It's currently 43 degrees Celsius, so quite warm on the track. That's going to chew through the tyres quite quickly. So you've got to be careful of tyres in this race. We are limited in tyres as well. We've got a set limit of 4 in the race, so we won't be able to stop every caution to chuck new tyres on, of course. So it's going to be a strategic race in that respect. I think probably going to be about 2 stops on tyres, in all honesty. Might be able to eke out 1 stop with a caution around about lap 35 is our cut-off lap for pitting. So anything after lap 35 we can make it to the end on fuel, but not we could make it on tyres, but it's going to be tricky. So we'll have to see how it goes. Obviously you're going to lose a lot of time in the pit lane, so let's head out for a qualifying session now. Let's see how we go.
All clear on pit exit. You can push now. Okay, Carl, we've got 2 laps. Let's get this done.
Main thing is to set a good clean lap here, I think.
That's a new fastest lap for Zitterbart, 30.5.
I honestly wouldn't mind starting a little lower back in this race.
7th position. Your lap time was a 30.9.
Hop that up. Oh! Not going to go much faster on that lap. Just lost a little bit on the exit there. So 30.9 I think it was. So we're going to be down towards the back of the grid with that one. Which, not a bad thing in all honesty for me. As I say, this race I'm going to go similar to last time. A bit more strategic in the race rather than going for pace because I don't have it. I'm going to go more for keeping the car clean.
Look out for the pit speed limit.
And just keeping to a relatively set pace to keep the tyres alive. That's going to be the goal.
100 metres.
I want to
50
try and keep
metres.
my tyres in a relatively good condition for the race and try and get the car as long as I can basically in the stint. So it's going to be a bit of a pace drive really, so nothing exciting. Okay, so that puts us in P8, so down towards the back of the grid, which is, as I say, that's fine for me. I can absolutely deal with that. So plan is for this race is just really to keep the tyres alive and just keep going for as long as we can in the first stint. I think we'll see how we go. We'll see how others go around us. We'll have about 80 laps of fuel for this race, so go about 80 laps deep into
The track
the race.
temp is 41 Celsius. P8.
So we'll just keep the car relatively safe. I think that's my plan. Hopefully not crash.
Follow car number 42.
So yeah, plan is just to go and just keep a clean race really, and not worry about the rest of the field. We just want to try not to we just want to try and avoid incidents and crashes. That's the goal here.
Alright Carl, are you ready? Watch for the lights. Go, go, go.
Car low. Still there. You're clear inside.
P9.
Just want to try and keep a hold of the guys in front of me at the moment. That's
The leader's just
the
done
plan.
30.7. That lap time was 31.3.
So I know I've not got the pace of the leaders. Got to be really careful out of turn 4 there as well. Very easy to spin the car on the exit as you go from the asphalt to the concrete. Of course, the asphalt has a
That's
bit
a
more
new
grip to
fastest
it.
lap for Zitterbart, 30.7.
But
That
it
lap
is a
time
tighter
was
line,
31.3.
which will scrub our front tyres a bit quicker.
Okay Carl, your refuel window will open on lap 52. It'll close on lap 82.
You'll feel the car just going away from you a little bit on the exit of the corners here, and it just pays off just squeezing the accelerator a little bit more gently than normal. Because that way you shouldn't spin up the rear tyres and loop the car
That was a 31.1.
You've got a car on the outside. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. You're clear high.
Move done. Chris and Bill up ahead having a good battle.
That lap was a 31.6.
But they are side by side, so it's not going to help us too much because we need them to be single file ready to get past. 3 wide is not ideal here. Not impossible, but not ideal. Big tank slapper for Hickey there. Get better exit here.
Full course yellow, be careful.
Big moment for Hickey there. Will we see people come in? Yes, we will.
The pit lane speed limit is 72 kilometers per hour. We'll need to stop again. 100 meters. 50 meters.
So a couple of guys have pitted in. A couple of guys stayed out.
Safety car is out. Pits are now open.
So this will make things a bit different for the battle now. Obviously, we'll be able to go a bit longer into this race now if we remain green. And we'll have some stickier tyres for this restart. So this could be a good thing or a bad thing. Depending on how many more cautions we get, of course. But you could see with that stop our tyres were down 20% already after about 15 laps. So you can see how hard it is here on tyres. And as the race goes longer green periods, it gets harder and harder.
Green flag, we're racing.
You've got a car low. Hold your line. Still there. Clear low. Car low. Hold your line. You're clear inside.
P9.
Car high. Clear outside.
P8.
Car high.
Okay, Carl.
You're clear outside. On the outside.
Purely the fresh tyres there
Hold your
just
line.
helping us out.
You're clear high.
Just because we had so much more grip than the other guys. But that advantage will start to fade for us as well, so we've got to Try not to push too hard, but also try and push a little bit as well. So that makes it tricky.
Car inside.
Big tank slap
Clear low.
for Chris.
B6. Zitterbart is leading the race.
Inside. Hold your line. Still there. Clear low.
Got to cover up that inside line to just get such better traction off the corner there on that inside line.
That was 31.4.
Try and get the traction off the corner here for Brian.
P6. You've just done a 31.5.
Got the traction there a bit. We should have the inside of this corner coming up.
Outside. Hold your line.
Late brake.
Still there.
Get the
Clear high.
traction and should get that position there. Trouble is when you start going to those outside lines now, as you start to go on the marbles, and that can really affect you. Our tyres are going to start dropping off now as well, so we'll start to plateau a little bit with the leaders.
That last lap was a 31.9.
So we've got 4 sets of tyres for this race. We've used 2 sets so far, so we've got 2 sets remaining, which is perfectly fine. And then it's a question, if we remain green, where do we stop for our next stop, basically. The undercut is quite big here, but so is the overcut. So take the risk with the undercut, but we will lose time towards the end of the race. Thinking about 1 or 2 laps after the after some of the leaders stop would be a good idea to stop at. The longer we stay out, the worse it gets for us, basically, with the undercut. Now, you can make time back with the overcut if you're a skilled, talented, fast driver. So I'm going to go with the undercut.
We've got a car on the inside. Hold your line.
Chris has got me here.
Hold your line. Clear inside.
Sixth place. The gap in front is now 0.4.
Now, the advantage the guys that didn't stop have now is if there's a couple more cautions, they've got 1 extra set of tyres over us.
That was a 32.0.
Looks like one of the first of the early stops has come in with Ryan McCarthy.
That lap time was 32.2.
gain a lot of time on us now. He's on those fresh tyres.
E6.
Of course, the other thing with the undercut is you need to be able to overtake people as well. You need to get past them early on to make advantage of those tyres. If you get caught up behind a slower driver, it can really affect your... well, it can affect the undercut quite a bit. So that's another risk of trying to do it.
Lap time was 32.5.
Not the easiest track to
Got a car
overtake
high.
on here, unless you have that
Hold your
traction.
line. Still there. Hold your line. You're clear outside.
I think Cam might be one of the early drivers to stop. And here comes Ryan. Just see the difference on the braking as well that he has. He can just brake so much later than us and also put the acceleration on so much earlier than us, just because of those fresh tyres. Just going to try and keep a nice tight line here and keep them behind us as much as we can, because that's going to help us later in the race.
Inside.
But there's only so much you can do
Hold your
to a
line.
car that has fresh tyres.
Clear inside. Car low. Still there.
Oh, big
Inside
instant
clear.
there. I think that was Zitterbar having a big moment off the corner. Lucky we didn't get a caution there, or I guess unlucky we didn't get a caution there. This caution could have worked well for me in that respect. Those guys that are trying the undercut don't want a caution to come out because it's going to affect them more than it is going to affect us.
Zitterbart behind is pitting. The gap to Kemp ahead is increasing. It's now 0.8.
So I'm thinking I'm going to wait till about lap 62, I think, to pit in. It may work, it may not, we'll find out. The other thing that's not
That was
helping at the moment
32.5.
is back injury playing up, which is not fun. It's been really causing some strife lately with my upper back and lower back. I've managed to pop some discs out recently, which has been absolutely enjoyable. Chris pitting in already. Remember, Chris came in with us for that first
P5, you've
stop.
just done a 32.2.
Okay, next time round we're going to come in the pits, I think.
That lap was a 32.4.
I think Matt Hunter's going to stay out there as long as he can and try and hope for a caution, basically.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Okay, Carl, we'll fuel you to the end of the race. 100 metres. 50 metres.
Alright, so we're going to lose some positions here, but we should hopefully gain them back because some other people will be dropping off the pace, so we'll see how this goes really.
The gap to James ahead is now 5.5 seconds.
Chris must have done something in the pit lane because he's on another lap down, so had a bad stop there, I think.
Your lap times are improving, this is good. You've just done a 30.9.
Outside. You're clear outside.
Heads up, there's a car rejoining. Your lap time was a 31.0. You're reeling, James, in. The gap's now 2.1 seconds.
On the outside. You're clear high.
So I think James stopped a little bit earlier than us.
P5, the gap to James behind is now 0.5. That lap time was 31.3.
So we should bring in Ryan as well in this one. Just got to try not to overcook our tyres too quickly here as well, because obviously the big thing is you might see a car in front of you, the car you want to pass, and you push too hard and then you just bake your tyres off, and that's not going to be good to the end of the race.
Your lap time was 31.3.
Car high. Clear outside.
Sorry, Ryan. That's the tricky part about oval racing sometimes, is you have the inside line, but obviously not much you can do when you're on those really rough tyres, so trying to pinch the car underneath you a little bit is a good option to go with, but can't really get much done in that situation, so a big apologies there to Ryan. And you can see our tyres are plateaued against Bradley Kemp now as well, so we've sort of reached that point on our tyres where we're not really able to go that
Gap
much
to
faster.
McCarthy behind is now 8.0.
Main goal now is just not to lose too much time. So now it's just concentrating on hitting those marks and keeping consistency up there as well.
There's a car on your inside. You're clear inside.
The gap to McCarthy behind is increasing. It's now 9.7 seconds.
Eased off their top leaders by rather than fighting them, because they are having a wicked battle at the front and I don't want to get in the way of that for sure.
McCarthy behind is pitting now.
Okay, as I suspected, I thought Ryan would have to pit one more time, so could have gone a bit easier behind him and just relaxed a little bit, but as I said, wanted to keep pace, relative pace. Battle for the lead looks juicy though, between Scott and Lockie. They were having a great battle last week as well. Scott unfortunately got a penalty in the pit stops. But that's one of the great things about the ARCA Series, is you get some really good battles, and it's a good place to learn as well. Just to learn that craft of really short track racing, real wheel-to-wheel racing. It does hone your craft a bit. You can see how much Matt Hunter's gained on these guys as well. Matt Hunter was of course 10 seconds ahead of us a few minutes ago. Now he's only 6.7 behind us. So he's going to get in on this battle for the lead as well.
Got a car on the inside. You're clear inside. Car low. Still there. Clear low. Car low. Still there. Clear low.
Just really letting Matt Hunter through there, because again, he's on the lead lap and he is chasing down those leaders. But his pace has plateaued a little bit, so the old adage of slow and steady doesn't win the race necessarily, but it can get you some good points position sometimes.
Your lap time was a 32.3. That lap was a 32.3.
As long as we keep in about the 32s, mid 32s, we should be okay. So I don't really have the pace to fight for the lead, but I've got pace in the midfield at least, so that's something.
That last lap was a 32.5.
We've been setting sort of steady, consistent pace all night, which is what I'm aiming to do. As I said, it's more about gaining experience than going for the outright victories. I don't have the pace on this style of track. Short tracks are not my cup of tea, so to say. I prefer faster speedways.
Alright Carl, you got about 4 laps of fuel left.
Mild panic there for a second.
The gap to Kemp behind is now 18 seconds.
Can be one of the problems with crew chief sometimes, is it does underfill you a little bit, especially in pack racing. If you're running in traffic, sometimes
3 laps of fuel remaining.
But unless something disastrous happens,
2 to go, only 2 more laps of fuel. That lap time was 32.5.
should be okay. So, white flag out. One more circuit to make.
This is the last lap of fuel.
Still have enough to make it to the end at least, so that's alright. I might set my crew chief to set up an extra couple of litres just to be safe.
Scott, that was amazing. Thanks for that race, bud. That was tough.
And that's P4.
Yeah, just couldn't get a run off the corner.
P4. Okay, it's over.
About the only
Good
thing
drive.
I had then was track position. You were way quicker, bud. Yeah, I stuffed myself up. I just about spun out. Like about 2 laps after the pits, and I lost time then and probably killed my tyres. No, that was awesome. Well done, bud. Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, it was good fun.
Okay.
100 metres,
So P4.
50 metres.
I'm happy with that. I am happy to take that position. Oh, because yeah, as I said, very little pace. Top 5 finish. It's my second top 5 finish this year, so I'm happy with that. Second P4 of this year as well in NASCAR. Okay, so let's see. So, got the inside line. Oh, we just wandered up a little bit high there. I would claim that as my fault, I'd say. Say that's my fault. Just couldn't get the car turned in. I was trying to brake, so I locked up the front brake. So you can see here, if we just... if we just go back to here and just watching. So you see, locking up that front brake there as Ryan's come down. Just unable to get it steered in. I was trying to brake so he could get past, but unfortunately just tagged that rear end of him, so big apologies to Ryan there. Yeah, big apologies, but other than that, clean race, so pretty happy with that outcome in all honesty. As I said, not a huge amount of drivers out tonight, but only 1 lap down. I'll take that. But P4, I'm quite happy with that one. In all honesty, that was a heck of a trial. Really struggled with that one. Alright guys, we'll be back for some more ARCA in the near future. I'm going to be running the ARCA more than the trucks, just because I am going to be broadcasting a bit more on trucks, so I won't be able to race them as much. But other than that, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is me, Carl Screezel, wishing you all a good night. Bye bye.